Hey everyone, Jeff here from Films at Home. Thanks for coming back to the podcast today, whether you're on YouTube and you're watching or you're on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Apple, wherever you're getting your podcasts. I appreciate you coming out for this episode. Now, I do want to say this is episode 15, and I've been working with a partner, a podcast network called Playlist Studios. They signed me on for a first season of the podcast, which was to be 15 episodes long. Now, because the podcast has done very well, they're signing me on for a second season. So there will be a second season of the podcast, but for the time being, episode 15 here is going to be the last one for about 6 to 8 weeks while I take a short break. I line up some more guests, get ready for season 2, and then you'll have another 15 episode season coming in the fall and then into the winter. Now, one of the reasons why I'm taking a longer break is because I have some pretty big news. Just this week, my wife and I, if you haven't been following, I should give you context. We've been looking to move into a little bit of a bigger house for, 9 months now. It's been hard. If any of you guys have been shopping for houses or trying to buy houses in the last 2 years, you know how crazy it's been. So we've been looking since like November or December of last year. We had our house ready to sell, and we finally this week found a house that we liked. We made an offer, and we finally got an accepted offer. So this is great news, but it also means that I have a lot of work ahead of me because I need to pack up this whole room of stuff that I'm in. I need to pack up my entire collection, all the home theater equipment, and never mind the rest of the house and all of our regular everyday stuff that most normal people have. And I need to get it across state borders because we're going to be heading up to southern New Hampshire. So we were in northern Massachusetts before. We found this house in southern New Hampshire, which is still not very far from family and in a nice little town, and that's where we're headed. So I've got some work ahead of me to pack this collection up and get it in a moving truck and hopefully get it to New Hampshire in one piece. So that's the exciting news today, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about like how I moved in the past and also like what this new house has for me and the channel and in content, which is going to be very exciting, and just kind of cover that. But that's a little bit of background. So this will be a quicker episode where I don't have an interview. This won't be like an hour long. I'm thinking maybe a half an hour, if that. Just wanted to wrap up the season and talk about what's coming in the future for my channel and for my life and for this podcast. And I figured what better way than to do a little roundup in episode 15. So to start things off, this will be the third time I've moved my collection. I started collecting in 2012, 2013-ish. I got really big into it in about probably 2014 while I was still in college. And then I worked sort of some crappy jobs for a year and then finally landed my first, what I would call big boy job in 2016. And then by 2017, I had landed another job that allowed me to move out of my parents' house and into a condo. So that was the first time I packed up the collection. The collection was 4 or 5 years old at that point. I probably had 1,000 movies. I had my TV. I had my SVS sound home theater system. I packed all that up. We moved it into a condo. I was in that condo for a couple of years, and that's actually where I started YouTube. So if you look at my earliest YouTube videos, you will see that they are not the best quality. I was in this you think I'm in a cramped room now. If you go back to the old YouTube videos from 2017, 2018, I was super cramped. I had no good audio equipment. I had, really nothing. I was just learning. But I probably grew the collection at that point once YouTube started to 1,500, 2,000 discs. And we were in that condo for about a year and a half. And then we sold that and moved to the house we're in now. So that was the second time I had to move the collection, and I actually did a lot of that move myself. I had a pickup truck at the time. I don't anymore, but I just was putting stuff in the truck. I was putting stuff in a pod that we rented, and I moved 2,000 discs and all the home theater equipment right down the street, which was convenient. We didn't move very far. We moved literally about a half a mile away from where our condo was. Now this time we're probably moving, I would guess, 25 or 30 miles away. So it's significant. I'm not going to be able to do it myself. We're definitely going to have to get a moving company. And at the same time, where I've moved a collection of 1,000, 2,000 movies before and kind of limited in terms of like memorabilia and collectibles, we're now upwards of 3,000 movies. I have way more storage that needs to move. I have a ton more collectibles. It's going to be an interesting experience, but one that I am going to document on YouTube and shoot some videos and show you guys what's going on. Just, I know I'm not the only person who's ever moved with a collection this large, or even with a collection half this size. It can be quite the burden. So I'm going to create some video content around that, and, hopefully that helps anybody out there who's going to move, but also will give you some behind the scenes little background on like what I'm doing. And then of course, when I get to the new place, there'll be tons of video content on like setting up a new room, a new collection, a new movie room. I'll tell you about the room in a second. But I will say that over the next month, 6 weeks, the goal is to be in this new house in mid-September. So I've got about 6 to 8 weeks. I need to sell my house as well as move into this new one. So there's a lot going on, and I would definitely say content here on YouTube will continue. So if you are looking for more content, definitely, if you've been listening to the podcast, that's going to take a break until I get moved into September, maybe early October. I'll still be posting YouTube content. So definitely head over to YouTube. If you haven't subscribed there, that's where you're going to get all the latest from me. Also on social media, all those links are in the description. I'll still be posting stuff, but it's going to be a little bit more sporadic, especially as we get closer to the move. I mean, I need to take down my home theater. I need to take down the TV. I need to take down all the speakers. I need to get those packed and moved. And that probably happens, within the week leading up to the move. But that means that for a week, and then for a few days, maybe a week or two after I get to the new house, I don't have the equipment to do reviews. I can't do a proper 4K review. Even if I get the TV up, I guess I could talk about just the visuals, but I'm not going to have the Atmos system set up. It's not going to be a fair review. So the 4K reviews, say late August into September, they're going to have to slow down. I am going to try to review as many discs as I can prior to that, so that I have plenty of content for you guys, and I can make sure to fill some of that space. But some of those really exciting titles that are coming out in late August, in early September, you're going to have to bear with me. It's definitely going to take some time to get reviews up. But the great thing is October has some amazing 4K releases, stuff coming from Criterion, Shout Factory, and Scream Factory, Arrow Video. There's a ton of great stuff coming in October. And by that point in time, I'll be all set up in the new space. Now, this new house is going to be a change. Right now, in the house I'm in, I am in a third bedroom. And it has basically 1.5 flat walls. I have this little flat wall here. I have one little flat wall with a door. And then I have the wall in front of me here with 2 windows on it. So my wall space has been very limited. The rest of the room is actually slanted, sort of like a cape house. And it has skylights on it. So, that hasn't been able to be used. That's where my chairs sit in the back. They sit under that slant, but I can't really store movies over there. I can't put shelves. I couldn't hang, posters or memorabilia. So this room, as you guys have seen in room tours and things of that nature, it's small. It's pretty cramped. The space that I'm moving to, the new house, has a great finished basement space. That is going to be my space for the home theater, for the movies, for a studio to record podcasts, to record YouTube videos. It's going to be where I work from home or my day job. It's going to be sort of an all-in-one, but the space is probably I don't know, it's probably 50% bigger than what I have now. It has nice high ceilings. It doesn't have any slanted ceilings. I've got 4 flat walls that I can hang things on, that I can store movies on. It has some great storage even underneath the basement stairs. So there's a ton of room for me to grow and expand the collection and really build like a less cluttered, really concise movie home theater room. There's even a nice little section where you can put the TV and all of the speakers and put the recliners over there and sort of have your screening room where, okay, that's where I watch the movies. And then there's a huge other portion of the room where I can put the collection and put some display cases for like masks and memorabilia, and then of course have a nice recording studio that's a little bit better than this little cramped situation I'm in now, kind of in front of a closet door. We'll set up a really nice backdrop for everything, and the audio will be better. My goal is to soundproof the room, but it's also in the basement and surrounded by a 2 foot, 3 foot thick concrete foundation, so it's pretty soundproofed already. But I'm going to add some soundproofing. We're going to really make this the space that I've always wanted to have. So it's super exciting. It will be a lot of work. There are some modifications that I will be making to the space. I have to put up a wall and a door somewhere just so I can close it off from the rest of the house so the noise doesn't get too crazy. I just want to have a door there, mostly for when I'm working my day job, just to have a little bit of privacy and place to take meetings, but also to, record things. So there's a tiny bit of work I have to do, but this new space is really cool because it also has an adjacent storage area, which is unfinished. And that's another probably 200, 300 square feet that hasn't been finished and has the potential to be finished, where there is a point in time in the future where I could definitely see myself taking the already finished basement space and making that strictly a collection and office space for both YouTube and my day job, and moving over into this other storage space and potentially taking some of that and turning it into a real screening room where you kind of would just have like a couple rows of recliners, a screen, speakers, and that's pretty much all that is. But it would be, completely soundproofed in a very enclosed space. It's something I've always wanted. It's just like this kind of private screening room. And while I'll have that in the finished space now, it is still open to the rest of the room. So there's definitely some options. There's a ton of space. And, I'm just talking about the basement. The rest of the house is great. It's going to be great for the family. It's got 3 bedrooms, so we got plenty of room for our family. It's got a really cool living room where I'm probably going to even do some more content, because I'll tell you what, my current living room TV that I have now, it's not big enough for the new room. So I'll be looking at getting a bigger TV, possibly a projector in that room. I don't know. We'll see. I'll need a sound system in there as well. I mean, there's going to be a lot of cool content that comes out of sort of setting up a living room space that still looks good with the rest of the house. And then your sort of dedicated home theater space with all your higher end stuff would be in the basement. So I have sort of 2 different areas to play with and create content for you guys, whether you do have a space where you can dedicate, or you do have, a living room that you need to turn into a semi home theater. I'll be able to talk about all of that, because I'm going to do both pretty much. I'm going to play with the living room, and I'm going to definitely play a lot with the finished basement. So it's super exciting. It's going to be a lot of work. I've got to pack up this whole house. We've still got to get an offer on our house. We have an open house coming up this weekend. So it's, Thursday I'm recording this, and by Sunday we have an open house. So I have like 2.5 days to kind of declutter and get the house ready to be shown. Then once we get an offer, then we've got to start packing. We've got to start moving and figuring out how we're going to get movers. And, I've never done that before. I've always just moved myself. But with the amount of stuff we have now with the baby and having a bigger house than a condo, I definitely need movers. So we have to figure all that out. Basically, it's just going to take a lot of my time. And so, I appreciate you guys bearing with me as content probably slows down a bit here towards the end of the summer. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing for the channel. I don't think it'll hurt. I'll still have content. I'm still planning to get at least 2 videos a week out, whether they're reviews or updates or news. And, if breaking news happens, I'll certainly try to cover it on the channel. But it definitely won't be like a 3 to 4 video type cadence like I've had over the last couple of months where I've really been cranking out content. But I mean, a lot of people are taking vacations. I also have another vacation in August. I just came back from a week off in New Hampshire. Actually, surprisingly enough, we were up there, northern New Hampshire in the mountains. And then I'm taking another week in August. So, balancing that family time, the day job, and some busy stuff that's happening over there, the YouTube channel, the move, the baby. It's just there's a lot going on, but I promise to keep putting stuff out. And by September, late September, by the time we get in, I think you guys will be really impressed with the new space and what I'll be able to do in there, and hopefully quality of everything. Even though we're going to take a little bit of a break, quality of everything will get better, will rise up. Video, audio, everything should improve, and it'll just be a little bit more pleasant for me, not being so cramped and cluttered, to be able to create content a little more freely. So I am super, super excited about this, and I can't wait to move. I love this house. We have a great house. When we bought this house, I didn't think that YouTube would ever become what it became. I didn't think that Films at Home would ever become what it became. I honestly thought, like, yeah, I'll get to keep this room for a little bit, and then at some point we'll need a third bedroom, and I'll move my stuff out of here and it'll just be in the living room. But at this point, Films at Home has become bigger than just a fun thing I do on the side. It's a passion that's turned into a semi business at this point, and I've been able to work with a ton of great partners and been able to support physical media in a way that I never thought I'd be able to, and help you guys out with discounts and really building this great community. And I have much more that I want to do for this channel and for Films at Home, which extends far beyond just video content. So, this new space will really allow me to do that, which is probably what's most exciting for me, is just the amount of creative space that I'll have to play with, and the ability to sort of declutter my mind, which in this room, sometimes I can get a little overwhelmed with how cluttered it is. And that sort of productivity can come down, and you sort of get in this weird, like, almost, I wouldn't call it depression state, but you kind of get in this weird funk where you like don't want to do anything because you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you've got too much. And that's why I recently purged a lot of the collection, and why I gave away a bunch of movies, why I sold a bunch of movies to another collector. 400 or 500 movies I took out of this room to help me feel better about it. But this new space will definitely be better for like the mental health of me in working, because I do so much in this room. I work my 9 to 5. I do YouTube. I do a podcast. I watch movies in here. I try to enjoy things in here and have fun in here while also maintaining a workspace. So it'll be just way better for me. And I'm just couldn't be more excited that finally, after, oh God, I can't, I think it's been 9-10 months. By the time we get in there, it'd be almost a year since we sort of decided, okay, we should, look at other houses. I mean, it was a long process. We had a lot of offers that didn't go through. And the funny thing is we actually made an offer on a house on this same street, about 4 houses down from the one that we just got accepted on. And we weren't even close a few months ago. And then, I guess things are meant to be, and another house on that street opened up, which was a little more reasonable and in our price range. Still was a great house, still was in a great neighborhood that we liked. And so it just worked out. The price dropped and we made a solid offer and got it. So that was kind of cool to still end up in the same neighborhood that we really had our eye on back in February or March. And we were pretty disappointed. I didn't talk about this, but there was a really nice house and we were pretty disappointed we didn't get it. And now I feel like it all worked out, because we got ourselves a really, really great place that's literally just a few houses down in an awesome neighborhood that's going to be great for kids. I live on Main Street now, granted in a small town. I only live in a town of 7 or 8 thousand people, but there's a city nearby that probably has more like, I don't know, 70 or 80,000 people in it. And, our main street connects into that city. And, we do get a fair amount of traffic, and it's loud and it can get annoying, and crazy stuff happens on Main Street. And you got a baby who you're trying to get to sleep, and you're trying to watch a movie in your living room. And my living room is right on the street. And, obviously sometimes things can get loud. People drive by in the middle of the night on motorcycles. Like, where we loved this house and the space, and it has a great yard, and it's a great neighborhood, and we've had great neighbors, and the community's been awesome. But it'll be really nice to get a little more private and just get into like a neighborhood where I feel like I can let the kids out in the front yard, and they're not going to get hit by a car going 50 miles an hour past our house, because that's what we get sometimes. And it's a little sketchy, both kids and dogs. So there's still a lot of work to do on this new place outside of the basement. There's a little bit of work to do upstairs. We've got to put a fence in for our dogs, and so there's it's gonna be an expensive project, but well worth it in the long run to have this new space. And so I just wanted to say, before we sign off here, that like I have to say literally that this would not have been possible without this community and YouTube and everybody who supports me and Films at Home. Because if you guys didn't know this, I work in marketing as my day job at a big company. I'm the digital marketing manager. I handle all of their digital marketing stuff. I'm the lead on that department. I don't have a degree. I started doing marketing for fun, and it started by writing blog posts and reviews, and then getting into YouTube. And that's actually what landed me my first big marketing job. It's what got me into the marketing job I'm in now. And it's what's really allowed us to get into this house, because I've been able to get good jobs because people can see that I can do this stuff because of the community I've built and the support you guys give me, and all of the experiences and things that I've learned here, of course. But really, without this community and without this channel growing, and me being able to expand into not only videos, but get really deep into social media stuff, get into TikTok, get into podcasts now, start working with partners and doing sponsorships, and learning so much about like marketing and consumers and how this all works. I mean, I've been learning on the fly, and I don't have a degree. I think I took like one intro to marketing class my entire collegiate career. So this is why I'm in the spot I'm in now. And so I have to thank you guys. And definitely this move is a big thing for me. And I'm sort of, I would say for sure, I'm making an investment in this channel. So I don't think it's any surprise that the level I've grown the Films at Home channel and social media and everything now, it does make some money. And the really cool thing is that I'm not just taking that money and I'm going on vacation or buying a new car. We only have one car as a family. I'm taking that money and I'm basically putting it into this new house and this new space, and I'm going to use it to build a space that makes our content better in the future. So I'm taking it, I'm reinvesting it back into, the business essentially of Films at Home, to hopefully create better content for you guys. But that investment can't happen without your support, simply just by watching videos, ad dollars. Of course, every time you guys watch a video, Google pays me a little bit. It's awesome. It's a great way to passively support me. But there's also channel memberships, and you guys have been great with that. You've been supporting the podcast and allowed me to get even a couple sponsors in the podcast, including Fright Rags right here. I'm wearing their Jaws 3D shirt, 10% off if you use code Films at Home at frightrags.com. So things like that have really allowed me to grow, and then invest in more equipment, and I've got a better microphone in front of me that I paid $150 for on Prime Day. I have a boom mic now. I have a different video setup that cost, a few $100s easily. I've been able to invest in all this stuff to make better content. And now I'm sort of making the biggest investment, which is a new space, a new home, and the future home of Films at Home up in tax-free, live free or die, New Hampshire. So any of you guys up in New Hampshire, I'm coming to join you. I've been a Massachusetts guy for basically 30 years. But honestly, Massachusetts real estate is absolutely insane if you want to raise a family. And a lot of people my age, I know I have friends and people I went to high school with who are moving to New Hampshire and, raising families there because it just doesn't make sense to do in Massachusetts anymore. So that's where I'm headed. And it couldn't have happened without you guys. So I appreciate your support, and I would ask for your continued support. Keep watching videos, keep sharing videos, liking them, commenting, putting them on Facebook, sharing them on Reddit, sharing them on forums, anywhere, tagging me on Twitter when somebody asks a question about physical media. This happened the other day. A journalist from the Washington Post, Gene Park, was wondering if the 4K set of The Godfather was worth it. Somebody tagged me, I responded, we had a conversation. This guy ends up tweeting out my channel, and we gained hundreds of new subscribers and followers that day. So, I don't even remember who tagged me, but whoever did it, thank you so much. That sort of stuff is what builds a community and builds more awareness of physical media, which helps all of us as collectors, but definitely helps me in the channel. And so I really support it, and I ask for your continued support. And I do want to thank all of our partners, the Fright Rags, the SVS Sound, who just did a giveaway with me and, helped me out to give information on speakers and came on the podcast. And, they've partnered up with me. They've been awesome. All of the movie studios, the Paramounts, the Lionsgates, the Warner Brothers, the Universals, but then of course the smaller guys, the MVDs, the Vestron Video Line, the, Imprint Films, Umbrella Entertainment, Horror Pack, who's been great partnering with me. Just so many different partners. Valencia Home Theater Seating, who's helped me out, and we've done some awesome giveaways with them. So this is the biggest step that this channel has taken. This is the biggest step I've taken personally in my life. This is the biggest purchase I'll probably ever make in my life, unless I hit that Mega Millions next week for $1 billion. I don't see how I'd be making a bigger purchase than this house. So it's a huge, step in my life and the channel. And I'm just so excited to move my collection into this new area and create awesome, engaging content for you all. And we're getting so close to 100,000 subscribers too. So this is like perfect timing, because at 100,000 subscribers, I think we're at about 93,600 right now. So we got about 6,500 to go. When we hit that 100K, we're going to have a blowout giveaway. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, or at least $10,000 plus of giveaways to do for the 100K. It's going to be a huge celebration, and based on the timing, it certainly looks like I'll be doing that in the new space, which is going to be a ton of fun. And just can't thank you guys enough, and all the partners, because you've made it happen. So I appreciate you. And I know that this was a bit of just like a ranty, off the cuff type podcast, and it's going to be short. I'm going to keep it to like a half an hour, but I just want to come on and give that update, because it's a huge update for the channel, but it also really is totally in thanks to you guys. I wouldn't have my day job and been able to get all these great job opportunities if it wasn't for Films at Home. And the support of Films at Home really allowed me to reinvest in it and do this. So just a massive thank you to all of you out there, and all the partners, and everyone who's come on the podcast, and everyone who's watched videos and shared videos. It's been an awesome ride, and it's only going to get better. So thank you guys for listening or watching, whatever you're doing, on Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you are. Make sure, if you're on your podcast app, that you do follow along. And if you're enjoying it, leave us a 5-star review. That way we can still generate some interest while I take a short break from the podcast and work on season 2. And when I come back in season 2, we'll be rip roaring ready to go. Also should mention, actually, you guys helped me crack the top 100 in the United States for film review podcasts the other day. Incredible for a podcast that has 14 episodes and is brand new. So thank you for that. But also make sure to follow on YouTube. You're going to want to be subscribed there and have notifications on, because my videos are a little sporadic. I don't really have a scheduled posting time, and that's only going to get worse over the next 6 weeks as I'm doing things. So have your notifications on, definitely subscribe so you don't miss anything there. And if you do want to follow along on social media, I've got my Twitter account, I've got Instagram, I've got TikTok. There are ways to follow me and stay up to date on what's going on. That stuff that may not necessarily warrant a full video, quick updates. I tweet stuff all the time about, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. There's a deal on this, that stuff. And then I also have a new email list. So if you want to sign up for the email list, that's in the description here of the video. You can click there and sign up. And I've been sending out deal alerts and videos to people and letting you know about news, and I've got a really good response so far, and you guys have been great supporting the new email sends. So that's a way for me to connect with you that's a little bit different, but it'll go right to your inbox. And if you do want to get the latest on deals, anytime I've seen one that warrants an email, I've been trying to shoot it out to you guys so that you get first dibs. And I've also been sharing discount codes and things through there as well. So that's a great way to stay in touch. But I have a lot of work ahead of me, so I'm going to start literally today because I have 2 days to pack this house up and get it ready for an open house. So I'm going to go do that after I work. Of course, I still have to work the day job. So I'm going to work the day job. Then I'm going to do all that. Doesn't leave much time for videos, but I promise you they'll still be coming. I'll have more content. As long as I can do it before I need to officially take this stuff off the walls and move it, I'll be doing it. So thanks for your support. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I appreciate you all so much. Stay safe and healthy out there, and I will talk to you all soon.
Coming soon! Be sure to subscribe to the Films at Home podcast using your favorite app so you don't miss another episode. And while you're there, don't forget to rate and review this podcast, which helps us out tremendously. You can also help support us by watching our short-form content over on YouTube and TikTok by searching Films at Home. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at films_at_home. The intro and outro were created by Elin Osborne. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.